The Nisargadatta Ultimatum by Pradeep. Your destiny is not death, but the disappearance of I am. An introduction by Pradeep. I have called this work the Nisargadatta Ultimatum because that was the feeling I got while preparing this text. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj is giving us an ultimatum. Look here, I'm handing you over something directly. Either you take it, or continue to suffer and lead a miserable life as an individual. These short quotes have the power to take you straight to the Parabrahman, or the Absolute. Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj has himself said, take one sentence of what has been said here and stay with it. That is enough. That will lead you to your source. The sentence could be a question or a statement. Either, if closely observed and pondered over, have the ability of right away catapulting you into the Parabrahman, or the Absolute, which you actually are. These short quotes have been collected from the 7 famous books on the dialogues of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, beginning with I am that. Most of the quotes are as such, while in some there have been minor alterations from the original, without changing the meaning or the idea that Sri Maharaj aims to convey. Sri Maharaj says, accepting the Guru's words with total conviction can transform your entire destiny, entire life. How to use this recording for best results. The unheard that resonates loudly after every sentence is Satguru Parabrahman. Chant that verbally or in the mind after hearing each sentence. What were you before you were born? 1. I am that. Are you a mere body or something else, or maybe nothing at all? Before all beginnings, after all endings, I am. What you are, you already are. Everything is local and temporary except you. Don't forget what you are. Ultimately, I am beyond being and non-being. Find out who was present at your birth, and you will witness your death. Stop imagining that you are born, have parents, are a body, will die, and so on. You were never born, nor will you ever die. There is a state beyond forgetting and remembering. The beginningless begins forever. Find what it is that you have never lost. Overlook the movable, and you will find yourself to be the ever-present. Whatever happens, I remain. I was never born. How can I grow old? I am neither born nor can I die. I have nothing to remember or to forget. You are beyond the experiencer, ever unborn and deathless. Reality is not an event. It cannot be experienced, for reality neither comes nor goes. There is no such thing as experience of reality. Only reality is. There is nothing else. There is no coming. It was so always. You can only be what you are in reality. You can only appear to be what you are not. What comes and goes has no being. What changes is not real. What is real does not change. Don't pretend to be what you are not. Don't refuse to be what you are. Life will escape, the body will die, but it will not affect me in the least. The real does not die, the unreal never lived. You are neither the body nor in the body. There is no such thing as body. The Absolute precedes time. The Absolute is. Your body is short of time, not you. Just understand yourself, that itself is eternity. I know for myself, I was never born. Both the subject and the object exist in you, but you are neither. You are complete here and now. You need absolutely nothing. That which makes you think you are human is not human. The real is always with you. You need not wait to be what you are. You are not what you perceive. You are yourself without knowing. No happening affects your real being. This is the absolute truth. Transiency is the best proof of unreality. You cannot know your real being. You can only be what you are. Whatever you are changelessly, that you are beyond all doubt. To be, you must be nobody. To know that you do not know is true knowledge. In reality, you were never born and shall never die. Be nothing, know nothing, have nothing. One can only be it without knowing. Two, seeds of consciousness. What you don't know, that is prior most. Before you acquired this knowledge, I am, that is the real state. Come to the conclusion that you are not the consciousness. The Absolute doesn't know itself at all. When the body dies, you do not die. When everything goes, you are the real. Your true identity is beyond this quality of I amness. The state before you were born and after you die is your permanent property. Before the knowledge I am appeared on you, that is the Parabrahman. If you revert properly, the consciousness I am will disappear. The Parabrahman does not know that it is. You are the underlying principle of consciousness. Be in that. The Eternal One is that which you have never forgotten. Go back to the source. Take your stand in the original state. Beingness is the child of no beingness, the Absolute. Prior to witnessing, you are. Something prior to the creation of the body knows that there is a body. When you did not have the body, complete satisfaction existed. The one who knows these appearances is the Satguru Parabrahman. I amness is a part of the play. You are prior to the I amness. You are not the sound from the Brahmaurandra which says I am. The arrival of my beingness without my knowing constitutes my parents. How can that which depends on the body be the truth? I prevail prior to anything I ever exist. Prior to the appearance of childhood, that is my eternal state. I only observe the appearance and disappearance of beingness. When you didn't know that you were, that is your true state. The one who observes the being in no being state is the true state. Only what was before the body came into existence will remain after the body dies. Lord Krishna was the unborn, the Nirguna principle, just as you are. You are unborn and shall ever remain unborn. The world and the mind, everything, are unreal, but I am not those. Three, prior to consciousness. Prior to the identification with the body, you must recede into that. Witnessing of the beginningness happens to the eternal principle, the Absolute. I, the Absolute, never had any experience that I was alive. I, the Absolute, have no needs I ever prevail. The non-attention Parabrahman state has no attention I am. Before the beingness was there, look at that, be in that state. Timeless, spaceless existence doesn't know it is. That is reality. That is truth. As the eternal principle, you prevail in spite of all happenings. To the absolute witnessing of the I amness occurs. This is the Sita standpoint. I, the Absolute, am not this I amness. Not knowing is perfection. Knowing is imperfection, fraudulent. When the I Am goes into oblivion, that is the eternal state, no form, no beingness. There is no question of going into that state. You are in the supreme state. Without reason or cause, the consciousness spontaneously appears on the Absolute. As you get closer to the truth, you will lose interest in worldly affairs. My true nature is that which was before the body and consciousness came into being. It is quite simple. All that which is time-bound is untrue. I am the perfect state when the I Amness was not. What was your state before the I Am arose? Go back to the source. That which you don't know is the right state. Throw away everything as useless after this consciousness has come. In the Absolute, there is no need of any kind, even the need to know oneself. Satguru, Parabrahman, is your true nature. In the Absolute, the I Am comes. They are not two. Donating the self, you get Brahma. Donating Brahma, you get Parabrahman. The teaching which destroys the individual is exactly what he seeks. You just stumble on the knowledge that the individual was never there. You are prior to the idea, I am. Camp yourself there, prior to the words, I am. You must recede into the no-knowingness when you are awake. I was, I am, and I shall be in that original state before the I Amness came. I am fully established in that unborn state. I am the God, I am the devotee, and I am the worshipping. You must know yourself bereft of the body's sense. The one who expresses I was not is secure, stable, and eternal. The one who recognizes the imperfect is perfect and complete. With reference to your true Parabrahman state, Maya does not exist. You know what you are not. What you are, you cannot know. Prior to knowingness is the priormost principle which knows the consciousness. Death is inevitable, so why not accept it right now that it cannot affect you? What you have heard from me is to be understood, used, and given up. Without the body sense, I am perfect, total, and complete. You are changeless and permanent. You have no beginning and no end. You are eternal. Parabrahman is your eternal state. You cannot remember it because you have never forgotten it. Go back to your original state, before this consciousness came upon you. The one which is listening and you do not know is you. As the Absolute, I have no experience of myself. On hearing these words, all your knowledge will evaporate suddenly, and you'll be wonderstruck. I, as the Absolute, do not need this consciousness. Where is the question when the instrument of questioning is kept aside? On your no-knowing state, suddenly the knowingness has appeared and created all the mischief. am before anything can happen. Knowledge is ignorance. It has a beginning and an end. Had it been real, it would be eternal. Satguru means the eternal state, which will never change, what you are. The one directed by a Satguru has no more birth. His sadhana is over. Why die as a body? Have the highest ambition, so that at least while dying, you are the Absolute. One is the Absolute. No, I am. Two is consciousness. I am. Three is space. World. To know you are nothing is real liberation. When all your knowledge, including yourself, is liquidated, then you are liberated. The unknown is the truth. I have no need of any experience. You are prior to consciousness. In that state, there is no pleasure or pain. What am I when this temporary state is gone and before it comes? That itself is the search. The ultimate knowledge does not have any knowledge. If you have really understood, no questions can arise. Questions arise only to an entity.
Hey, Remy, you killed this one.
As long as you believe you are an entity, spiritual salvation and all this talk is useless. As an entity, you want to know the Absolute. It's not possible, because you are the Absolute. When you really intuitively understand what I am saying, it's the end of your spiritual search. Prior to consciousness, who is there and with what instrument one can be conscious?
Orchids never die.
The state prior to consciousness is always there. Right now, it is there. Your true identity is a state of not knowing, total, complete, and perfect. This sense of presence is unreal, like a dream. Your true state was there before the body and consciousness arose, is there now, and will be after the body and consciousness go. Give thought to the state before experiencing began. Even when the consciousness goes, you prevail. You always are, as the Absolute. It is the consciousness that gets liberated. There is no entity. It must happen that the consciousness is no longer conscious of itself. Knowingness in its ultimate state is no knowingness. If you have clearly understood what I am saying, you would have no specific intention or interest left. Do everything with the understanding that when the body and consciousness go, you need do nothing. Consciousness disappearing, there will be no sense of presence. But I shall very much be without the sense of presence. Before the I Am arrived, I knew no time, birth. Living and death constitute nothing but time, duration. Come to the firm conclusion that I am nothing. You must have the firm conviction that you are unaffected by birth and death. No knowing is highest in the hierarchy of spirituality. The Absolute transcends both knowing and no knowing. 4. Consciousness and the Absolute. The knowledge in you, which knows change, is itself changeless, permanent. You did and do exist unto eternity. Everything is beingness, but I, the Absolute, am not that. The body form is merely an opportunity to experience time. The essence and sum total of this whole talk is called Sat Guru Parabrahman. that state in which there are no requirements. I am the principle which survives all the creations, all the dissolutions. How can questions relating to that which was prior to the body and consciousness be answered? Appearance and disappearance, birth and death. These are qualities of beingness. They are not your qualities. Attain that state which is and was prior to the body. Movement of the Satguru's feet begins from no knowingness to knowingness. Holding the Satguru's feet is the borderline between knowingness and no knowingness. Your true being exists prior to the arising of any concepts. Apprehending this is being dead to, I am the body while alive. When beingness forgets itself, that is Parabrahman. I, who am there before consciousness, am not concerned in any way to all that happens in consciousness. Your conviction should be such that no question at all should arise in the future about that. How did I come about? That is a question which needs investigation. Consciousness never comes or goes. It just appears to have come. Can you live like that, as the non-manifest? How can one who is not born die? It is only the consciousness that is going to disappear. The Absolute is always there. What a fall, the perfect state, caught up in these experiences and trying to derive certain benefit from them. The meaning of the mantra I have given you is that you are the manifest dynamic principle, not the body. When you abide in that, you become that. You have identified with the body, but you are not the body. The uniform I amness, known through the body, is available to you. By all means use it, but understand that you are not the uniform. Once you discard this I amness uniform, what remains is a Parabrahman. That which is eternally current is the Parabrahman. Before you were born, could you have felt or sensed or known that you exist without the body? Feeling that I am present depends on having a body. I am neither the body nor the conscious presence. You should not get involved in what has appeared. I am not the seed, I am not the phenomena, nor am I the consciousness which is time-bound. Consciousness alone feels the expanse of consciousness, but I, the Absolute, am not that. The Absolute always remains. There is only one thing to be understood, and that is that you are the formless, timeless, unborn. Nobody is dying because nobody was born. Liberation means it, consciousness, is no more there. Experience occurs where there is a change. If there is no change, there can be no experience. Try to understand what they, parents, could be without their bodies. I was possessed by the 5 elemental ghost, but having stabilized in the Parabrahman, I know what it is and I am out of it. Satguru Parabrahman is all love for no knowingness. Everything which gets consumed, exhausted, is unreal. Prior to your birth and receiving the message, I am, how did you function? What were you? You are, even before the knowingness, you are. There is only one truth in the world, and that is that everything is unreal. When the body and mind drop off, nothing happens. Only I, the Absolute, prevail always. Be what you were prior to the label or title. Be that. Give up all that you have read and just be. Even the experience that you are is not your true identity. Even the experience that you are is not your true nature. Whatever you are prior to the appearance of I Am, that is your true nature. It is sufficient to understand, without the slightest doubt, with great conviction, that there is a state prior to the arising of consciousness. There is no individual looking at another individual. The sense of presence is cognizing. Other than that, there is nothing. There is no individual looking at another individual. The sense of presence is cognizing. Other than that, there is nothing. Waking, sleeping, and the sense of presence are all temporary states that have come upon me. I am not the states. Whatever is temporary and time-bound cannot be the truth. I am totally free because I have understood the unreality of that I am. All this play is going on in the flash of your consciousness, and it will come to an end. When you finally know that there is no individual, there will be no questions to ask. What is the absolute unmanifested. What appears as if in a dream is the manifested. If you do not take delivery as an individual, but as total functioning, then you are free of whatever is happening. The ultimate is prior to any experience. I amness is the beginning of experience. Stabilize in the knowledge I am, and in the process transcend it. You are the Absolute. You swallow the entire universe. This body is continuously changing. It was not there. It appeared, and it will disappear. It is not you. You are not born at all. Only the announcement of your existence is there. You existed even prior to your birth. Your existence is eternal. But the knowledge that you existed came about when you were a few years old. Prior to any other recognition, you already are. How can there be the experience of truth? It is prior to the beingness. Knowingly, you cannot go into that beyond time. This consciousness, the one full of concepts, is dead to me. It is gone. I have transcended it. When nothing is, you still are. You, the Absolute, watch the consciousness. Therefore you are not that. I am the total functioning every moment, millions of years ago or now. The ultimate principle, which knows this beingness, cannot be named at all. The ultimate you can never be lost. You will only lose what you know. When one subsides in one's true identity, nothing matters because nothing is. You are not that I am. You are as the Absolute prior to this I am. Without the feeling of I am, still you are. I abide in the no-knowing state. When your individuality is dissolved, you will not see individuals anywhere. It is just a functioning in consciousness. A sound is emanating out of the body, just words. It is not somebody talking, just happening, not doing. The Absolute alone prevails. There is nothing but the Absolute. When you are that and convinced so, there's no question of choice or repeating, I am that, I am that. Consciousness has not happened at all. When it tries to understand itself, it gets stabilized in due course in the Absolute. The body is as much use now as it was prior to birth and after the death. The unborn is enjoying the birth principle. That principle took so much time to understand this, and it is the unborn only that prevails. All my knowledge has gone into liquidation. I am unconcerned. Five, the experience of nothingness. The presence I am itself is not there in the Absolute. This knowledge, I am, this consciousness, has come of a prior state, where there was no consciousness. Only the non-I-amness can meet the nothingness. In the Absolute, there is no knowingness. At the highest level, in reality, nothing is. At the worldly level, in unreality, everything is. In the process of trying to understand, you get purified and the process subsides.
Kidaro Productions.
In the absence of knowingness, where is the question of misery, pain, or pleasure? Stay put in I am nothing, and you'll mature quickly. Reject everything and settle down where there is no more observation.
Kidaro Productions.
Everything will go, but you will not go, you will not die. My state is, I am, without parents. I am the unborn. Knowledge removes ignorance and itself goes. What remains is the Absolute. I am, and I am not, and I am neither. I am certainly not presence, and not even the presence of absence.
Kidaro Productions.
Knowingness, I am, you are, is the Atman, nothing other than God. When you worship, you are, as the manifest Brahman only, you reach immortality. The one who has the firm conviction that except for the I amness, there is no other self, he stabilizes in the Parabrahman.
Kibaro Production.
All I say would be reduced to illusion when you reach the highest. Your true nature is such that it can have no color or design.
Kibaro Production.
The highest state is the unborn state, in which there is no experience.
Kibaro Production.
That state in the absence of this beingness or prior to Maya is the Absolute. Abiding in itself, this knowingness is able to quit this state and abide in the no-knowingness state, the Absolute. You, as the Absolute, are not the knowledge I am. Only that individual who has lost his individuality has merged with the Parabrahman. Before you occurred to yourself as I am, you were in the highest state, the Guru of Gurus, Parabrahman. Before you knew yourself, that was your true state. Eliminate everything. In that state, you will have no color, no design, no form, no name. In the unmanifest Absolute, there is no consciousness of existence at all. The Guru says, you are Parabrahman and nothing else. Accept that with great conviction, and all that appears will seem to be palpably false. Accepting the Guru's words with total conviction can transform your entire destiny, entire life. I am the Parabrahman only. Adhere to this fundamental principle. The deep sense in you that you are, I am, must accept that you are the Parabrahman, not the mind. Only a non-illusory state can know the illusory state. The no-being state is the absolute. Brahman is manifest. Para-Brahman is beyond or prior to that, the absolute. The absolute Para-Brahman state is prior to consciousness. It means the unborn state. The eternal means the unborn. The truth is like that. The eternal is like that. The one who recognizes all these time-bound stages, that one is beyond time, is prior to time. Stay put there. When the knowingness is transformed into non-knowingness, that is the liberation. Whatever happens, you stay put in the confidence that you are the manifest Brahman, or you are the Absolute. Six, the nectar of immortality. Whatever you think is not you. You cannot think about yourself. Perceive this clearly and be thought-free. To realize and abide in that state prior to conception is the highest. Before conception is your most natural and perfect state. It always prevails, even after the beingness goes. Before my birth and my conception, who pulled me into the womb and in what form? That was possible only if I had a form prior to conception. There is no need for knowledge when this beingness was not. Once the seed, I amness, is gone, you are in your eternal state. Right now, I'm interested only in the state 8 days prior to conception, the Para-Brahman state. Understand the beingness and its play, transcend it and abide in the state prior to conception. If you have understood what you really are, is there any necessity for spiritual pursuits? The waking state, sleep, beingness, all this experience combined is the ignorance only. That ignorance, termed as birth, means these three. Prior to the appearance of this beingness, you are purely Parabrahman, the Absolute. Witnessing happens to the Absolute, which is the unborn, eternal principle called the Parabrahman. You, the Absolute, are not the body, and not even the indwelling beingness. The ultimate principle is prior to the sphere of subject-object. The absolute non-being state, by assuming the being state, becomes dual and manifestation. When the dhyana yoga is done correctly, the beingness gradually dissolves into non-beingness. My process is Atma Yoga, which means abidance in the self. Transcending individuality, one is the manifest beingness only. In this process, the unmanifest reveals itself. Unmanifest means total quietude and rest. Then there is no birth and death, no coming and going. I, the Absolute, am not my beingness, but a witness to it, which is the total manifestation. Not identifying with the body-mind sense, you will first transcend into the beingness, and later you will transcend the beingness as well. I, the Absolute, am not the personal I. The personal I cannot tolerate impersonal beingness, and hence fears death. The factual eternal I, the Absolute, has no fear of death. One who transcends time, the beingness and its attributes, abides in the Absolute. prior to, during, and after the dissolution, I, the Absolute, ever prevail, untouched, untainted, and unchanged. The knowledge I am is not the Absolute. The Absolute cannot be understood. Whatever you understand, you are not that. In non-understanding, you understand yourself. In a state prior to your birth, you are bereft of waking, sleep, and knowingness. Abide in that state during meditation. Samadhi will be there, but you, the Absolute, are not in the Samadhi. With the transcendence of the knowledge I am, the Absolute prevails. The state is called Parabrahman, while the knowledge I am is termed Brahman. The knowledge I am, or beingness, is an illusion. When Brahman is transcended, only the Parabrahman remains, without a trace of the knowledge I am. Would there be any necessity of beingness in the Parabrahman? The beingness is a superimposition, a cloak of illusion over the Absolute. How was I in the absence of the message I am that is prior to beingness? Prior to experiencing the I am and the world, I abided in myself, in my eternal Absolute state. Without beingness, that is without the message I am, only my eternal Absolute state prevails. Who would have witnessed the message I am if my priormost state of non-beingness was not? There is no experiences in my eternal state. I alone prevail even without the message I am. When the state of beingness is totally swallowed, Whatever remains is that eternal I.
Let it be.
The Navanaths loudly chant Alak Niranjan. Alak, the state before conception, and Niranjan, the unblemished. Stabilize in the source of your being, and you will transcend time and ever prevail in eternity. When you are established in the final free state, the knowledge I am becomes non-knowledge. When you are established in the final free state, the knowledge I am becomes non-knowledge.
Let it be.
When I do not have the knowingness of the I am illusion, the Parabrahman state prevails. You prevail forever, without identity of body form, name, or any other illusory datum. How was I before this sense of being appeared with the title of birth? I amness appears and disappears. I, the Absolute, cannot be that. I forever prevail. In spite of your worldly activities, you are unborn. You are apart from all. The Atman is recognized by understanding the knowledge I am, the Atma Jnana. There's no question of the Atman needing to enter the body, since it is already everywhere. You, the Absolute, bereft of any body identity, are complete, perfect, and the unborn.
Circle.
You never had any birth. Forms appearing and disappearing is a play of the five elements. Where are you in this? And where is the question of your coming and going? Atman has no birth. It is not created like the body. It is the unborn principle, the Brahman. Once you realize you are not the body, then you are one with the consciousness. In due course, you transcend the consciousness and dwell as the highest. The witness of the consciousness is the highest principle, the Absolute. A realized one, having transcended the realm of beingness, ever abides in the eternal Absolute. With the fulfillment of Jnana Yoga, all that which is understood is made unreal. Go back one day prior to your conception, which is the Parabrahman state with no needs for anything. Catch hold of the knowledge I am in meditation, and in the process the realization occurs that I, the Absolute, am not the I am. Atman is not an individual. It feels the sense of being through a body with senses operating. Otherwise, Atman does not feel itself. That I, which can discern the absence of the present I am prior to conception, must already be there to judge this. Before this appearance, did you have any knowledge? The knowledge I am means consciousness, God, Ishwara, Guru, etc. But you, the Absolute, are not that. This sample-less condition is called the Parabrahman, a non-experiential state. Go to the root of your beingness. In the process, the beingness will be transcended, and the ultimate you only remains. Without the knowledge, you are. In the ultimate state, you are-ness is totally forgotten. I am or I am not, both are forgotten. This is the highest type of rest. Parama Vishranti. I pleased my I amness by by understanding it, and in the process also discovered that I, the Absolute, am not that I am. The word or feeling I am that you get inside you is not eternal, but you are eternal and ancient. Before the appearance of beingness or knowingness, I, the Absolute, am already there eternally. When the beingness is not, you are the Absolute. That which is changing continuously is unreal. No change can be made in the real. World is experiential, but you, the Absolute, are non-experiential. Prior to birth, this you-are-ness was not associated with you, the Absolute. Seven, the ultimate medicine. This sense of separate identity is very limited and totally false. That desultory manifestation cannot be the real you. How can anyone tell my future when I am not there at all? On the Absolute, beingness appears, and out of that comes illusion, and the illusion occupies the truth. Stay put in the beingness for some time, and that desire will also drop off. Then you are the Absolute, a most essential state. Abiding in the consciousness, you understand its nature and you recede. Recede and recede till it disappears and the Absolute remains. On my pure absoluteness, which has no place, no shape or form, this knowledge I am came, which also has no shape or form. Therefore, it's an illusion.
Run it up, Tay.
understanding the temporary nature of beingness, you also conclude that it is unreal. The one who realizes its unreality is the eternal. Can you hold on to some identity that is exclusively yours, that will not disappear? This I amness is experienced by you, the Absolute, but you are not the I amness. There's no question of duality, because nothing exists except me. Only I exist. I very clearly see that which has been born, and I also know that I am not that which is born. And that is why I am totally fearless. This temporary state of consciousness appears on the original, which is unconditioned, without attributes, without identity. It is called the Parabrahman. If you really find out what you are, you will see that you are not an individual, not a person, not a body. That state in which the beingness is absent is the eternal state, and because it is eternal, it is the truth. Being Brahma, you lose identification with the body, and in that state you will see that you are not even Brahma, but the Parabrahman. The one who understands while living that he is nirguna, qualityless, attributeless, only he knows Parabrahman. Parabrahman is like the name of a city which does not know whether it exists or does not exist. Being or not being has absolutely no effect on it. Always keep your identity separate from this body while doing the working, thinking, and talking. It has appeared on you. You are not the body. Whatever appears has really no existence, and whatever has not appeared also drops away. What remains is that, the Absolute. If you take yourself as the body, you have forgotten your true self, which is the Atman.
Patient beat bullin'.
When the body falls off, the principle which always remains is you. In reality, there is no death because you are not the body. Let the body be there or not. Your existence is always there. It is eternal. One who is constantly awake to his true nature, having this knowledge about himself, is liberated. Give me a sample of that which you think is identifying itself with the body. You are prior to this consciousness and whatever is happening in it. You are totally apart from it. Now stick to that. The only thing to remember is that you are separate from this body and the consciousness. Whatever has come upon your original state is time-bound, but you are timeless and spaceless. Understanding is a movement in consciousness, which you are not. So there is no question of understanding or not understanding for you. Just be, and all questions will dissolve. How can questions exist at the beginning of knowledge? Drop all identification with the body and name, and then tell me about yourself. Whatever you are about, which you cannot give any information, is most appropriate. That greatest principle you are. The moment you drop individuality, you are the manifest totality. But your true being is apart from the manifest totality. Turiya, the birth principle, means where the consciousness is, and the one who transcends that, who knows the Turiya, is Turiyatita, beyond consciousness. Whatever information I have prior to birth, that is the only correct information. That knowledge is Parabrahman. You cannot forget your true state, and that is why you cannot remember it. Whatever you forget is not the truth. Always remember that. The one who knows that the I Am is a concept and will disappear has no experience of either birth or death. All knowing is objective and impermanent. The one who says, I don't understand, that is you. You are that particular thing that says, I don't know. All objective understanding is impermanent. That entity which knows is permanent, which you will never be able to understand. You cannot be something which you are not. You must be perfect right from the beginning. Therefore, you are that. Self-realization is already there. If you feel that it is not there, you are never going to realize it. No path, no instruction, no method, no technique. You are full. You are all one. You feel you are two. Dvaita. So okay, understand you are not two. Advaita. Constantly return to that point from where you seem to have come, and see if you have really come, whether you are really born. Understand the guest-like temporary nature of consciousness and feel that you have nothing to do with it. Have you any knowledge about a permanent identity within you, which always remains with you and never goes away? That which you know and see is not true, and that which says, I don't know anything, is your true nature. There is no change in you whatsoever. You are only moving around in ignorance all over the world. Prior to the appearance of this body and the knowledge I am, what was there? Once you understand that the source and the end are the same point, you are free of it, and you realize, I, the Absolute, am not this I amness. Your real identity has no body, no thought. Effortlessly, you are that, the Parabrahman. Only you must stand for it with conviction. I am in that state where beingness and non-beingness do not matter at all. Once you realize the truth, the consciousness has come over you. You will need nothing anymore. Consciousness has come upon me spontaneously and will go spontaneously. So what is it that I consider as my identity? When you are in a position to observe or witness the consciousness, you stand apart from it. The absolute state cannot be remembered because it cannot be forgotten. The memory of beingness only appears to exist. Your formless, eternal true state is what you are, Swarupa, and to remain in that is your only religion, Swadharma. To be stabilized in that beingness, which has no name and form, is itself liberation. The fact is that nothing is born. There is no world. The world appears, but it is not there. There is no birth at all. Even now, there is no birth. The conviction that this world never existed can happen only to the Parabrahman. If this is indeed your conviction, then you are the Parabrahman. And this concludes Pradipapti's the Nisargadatta Ultimatum.